Hey everybody, it's Ryan here. I'm with John.
Hello.
And we're going to do another hobby hangout. I'm with Ben as well.
Hello!
Get the hell off my chair.
Hey!
Get out of here.
I was doing a good job!
No, you're not. Horrible job sitting there with sunglasses on. Let me show you how it's done. Click the wrong thing for a start. Go to the front cam! Welcome to Hobby Hangout! Your weekly show where we look at your community projects.
Weekly, except when it's not.
Except when it's not.
Yeah.
That's okay. We've got a lot of stuff happening this week. Probably seen the vlog. And yeah, we had Room 17 in this week.
Yep.
It's been pretty epic. We've also had the Infinity Week going out, and that has just been very chaotic in the office because, you know, everything's going smoothly, which means everything behind the scenes is going.
It is the proverbial when you're watching like a swan moving along a river and it's all nice and calm and underneath it.
Yeah,
It's that's us.
that's
That's
what
us
you
when
see.
the cameras
That's what
are
you
off.
don't see behind the cameras. Yeah, this week we're going to be looking through. It's weird because I can't hear the music.
No, I can't hear the music either.
But it's okay. They should be able to hear it.
Yeah.
Ben, are you there?
I am here.
Yeah.
Still listening, still waiting, watching, remunerating.
Ben told me just before we started the stream that he hasn't looked at anything, so it's surprising that he managed to answer Skype.
I'm a blur of my former self. I'm a shadow. I'm a painting naysayer at the moment. No.
Good job.
I can't wait to see what cool ass stuff you guys have been painting. There we go. So.
Awesome.
Okay, he's got a lack of enthusiasm today, isn't he?
It's good.
Shut
Good
up,
to
John.
Today, however, we're going to be looking at the End Is Now project. You guys have been
yes.
working through some of the best stuff that we've seen so far this month, and you still have a month and a half to go, so it's not too late. If you guys have refresh my projects page, thank you. That's okay. Thank you, Tom. Forgot about that. Yeah, we're going to be looking through these here, and if you haven't joined in, we have teamed up with Foreground this year once more. If you win the 4 categories, which is best idea, best skill, best tutoring, and junior. We haven't had any junior entries yet, actually. I haven't seen any. But yeah, get yourselves in. Make sure you're under 16 years or under to qualify for the junior category. And everything is finally not up to us to choose the winners. It's all done automatically. It's all done in the posts and the projects.
I'm sorry, I can't get my eyes off the chat at the minute because Manda is like totally making fun of my beautiful Stormcast Eternal army that I'm working on.
Why is she making fun of it?
Look at it! Look what she's saying! Smurfcast Eternals?
Led by Papa Sigma.
Rude.
Fair enough.
If at any point Amanda gets banned or anything from the chat, it's going to be John.
I am not near a keyboard, it will not be my fault.
He'll do it on his phone.
It's in flight mode.
Okay, so first off, we actually have Amanda's Happy Radiation Pawns, so we get to call her projects Smurf projects, or whatever else we want to rip out of it.
Is it going to be the Bob Ross of ponds? Be the happy little pond?
Maybe. Let's see. Hold on a second here. We have to get this.
Did you?
I don't know. It's like not coming up properly for me.
Oh, you've ruined it.
I haven't ruined it.
You've
We'll just
ruined it.
We'll just go to the full
Okay.
browser.
Okay. 92 recommendations. This
Yeah.
is fantastic.
So the idea behind this is fantastic so far, and I'm going to be a little bit honest here. I was quite wary whenever I looked at this project. Where's the oldest? Whenever I first looked at this project, because Amanda's been using styrofoam, but it's not the usual like flat pack styrofoam. It's a stuff that you would find in like washing machines.
Washing machine boxes and
Yeah.
stuff. That stuff that's
It's,
like...
it's the bubbly stuff that crumbles away. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So I was kind of hesitant, but we'll see once the page actually loads that it it kind of gives that feeling of the Giant Causeway to me. I thought of. So we've been through this before. We've seen the inspiration screenshots, but she's been starting off with a 25 centimeter square, and this is the polystyrene stuff that she's been working on, which I wasn't convinced of at the beginning, but
we had tried it a few times in the office, and we weren't overly impressed with the results we got.
And then she got some barrels from tabletopart.com. I thought this was a pretty good idea because there's going to be a swamp wasteland.
I love the sign.
Yeah, the sign was really interesting. So I wonder if there's any, like, if this is a standard sign or is this one being photoshopped?
Well, we can ask her. I mean, she can tell
Yeah,
us.
if you're in the chat, let us know.
She is in the chat. She'll tell us. Unless there's an actual
It's a bit
post.
cool. I like the little details of people doing dioramas, and then
Yeah.
they have like photoshopped signs where it says maybe something that they're not meant to be saying. Although, whenever I got to this stage, I kind of saw the Giant's Causeway in it. Like you can still see the little bubbles of.
But it looks
Oh,
more.
sorry.
It looks more like a crystalline formation now with the paint on it.
And then this is the actual board. Due to the heat, can't really do anything. Yeah, the heat was awful. Flexter, thank you very much for hosting. Pleasure to have you with us this Wednesday afternoon.
The thing that I quite like about looking through the sort of like lower stuff as you see the bubble, as she's called it, the bubble mountain coming to life, is that it actually looks like right, almost more like rubble, which I thought was quite interesting.
Yeah.
So it almost looks like something that is like somewhere else in the landscape, something else has exploded, or like there's been like a geological event or something, and it's formed this sort of rockery almost, which I thought was quite interesting. And I think it starts to come to life a little bit more once we see more paint coming onto it, and then the little tufts of grass and those kind of things as well. I think that all really helps to develop it to make it into more of a scene and less of packing material, as it were. So
It could
it's
be
very cool.
It could be a big pile of graphite out of a nuclear reactor.
Yeah.
Sorry,
It's
I've been
got
listening
a-
to a lot of Chernobyl stuff lately.
It does have that almost like slag style look to it, which I
Yeah.
thought was quite interesting. So yeah, it's very cool.
I think for this bit, with the tufts coming out, there's not much. I think it'd be good with a little dry brush of like maybe earthy colors.
Yeah.
Because the moss and stuff, it looks like it's just like it's popping out of somewhere. So it'd be nice to see it like blending in. She said that the sign was created from a fallout texture.
I like the addition of like these extra colors in through it. I take it these are other like little basing stones that she's put in. They work really well.
It's definitely like making it come together now.
And clay, I like what she's doing with the base, blending the cork board into the clay. This is very cool. Can't wait to see this one done.
I assume then this here is going to be like the swamp area. The water effect. So yeah, very good. Awesome. Before Jerry, I'm going to pinpoint you specifically, Jerry. Before you say anything about me not voting, I have specifically not voted on these because I don't want to be like biased in the way. So once the competition ends, then I'll go and cast my vote. I don't want to be swaying the vote too much. So I'll let only the community vote for this. I don't know. I can't say the same about John, but who knows what he's been up to.
Nobody knows what I'm up to when I'm in my little.
Are you voting in these, Ben?
Yes, I am going in and voting for them. Yes, definitely. So.
Well, at least you have one unbiased opinion here. Next up, we have Elysium64, and he's been working on the Degenesis post-apocalyptic board. So, oldest entries first. This is quite an interesting one because whenever I was reading through this yesterday, he's been working on this since like Salute. So it's been a project in the works since Salute, where he bought the models for the Degenesis game, the RPG game. And he's been just building up, and I think now he's going to be starting to create terrain for this competition, which is interesting because a lot of people go to Salute. Lance doesn't want the achievements to pop up on screen. That's very true. Most people go to Salute to buy like big boxes and stuff. This guy went to Salute just to buy single miniatures for this game.
Yep.
So it's almost like he had a shopping list.
Almost as if he knew what he was doing.
Yeah. There's some cool looking minis in this though.
They're a very interesting mix, yeah.
He goes in and actually lists all the minis too, for anyone wondering if they want to build their own Degenesis game.
Yeah, because I believe some of them are coming from Lucid Eye and all sorts of places, so that's really neat.
I love the VR truck behind. See that soon. And he has went in and modelled some of these, like resculpted them to make look like the characters. I don't know anything about the Genesis though.
I don't either. So.
We'll avoid those minis there. Apparently some of the Degenesis stuff was quite not for Justin's eyes, let's just say.
Not suitable for Justin's?
No.
That VW van is brilliant.
And I think it's because I remember seeing this being built. I believe it was built just from a normal VW, and then he added these parts onto it.
Probably the same or similar VW to which we used to launch Beasts of War way back in the day, which we still have and is on the Weekender set.
You think they bought the same one?
You never
Like
know.
a little memento. This is some fantastic armor right here.
It's
like,
very effective, isn't it?
Yeah, very top heavy. Then you've got the robes that are just falling down.
This skirt that looks like it would trip her the first time she moves.
Whereas the guy, not one bit of skin shown at all.
No, he knows what he's
Terrible
doing.
armor.
To be fair, he looks badass except for the sledgehammer.
The sledgehammer. I think the sledgehammer.
I think the sledgehammer
bad.
could do with being bigger, but then again, I like 40k at the minute. Unwieldy weapons are the way.
So this is one of the models. I think he sculpted on the coat to this one, and he sanded off the quite large breasts on it because this was a female model. And
Was a female model.
Yeah. But it still works because
It's a very good conversion.
Yeah. You get some more actual paints coming. They all look great. I think he would look great in like a Harry Dresden universe.
Yeah.
Take away the sledgehammer. What do you think, Ben?
It would look very cool. It's got that kind of urban fantasy style feel to him, which is pretty neat. So he could definitely be one of the ward. I think they're called the Wardens. I think that could be pretty awesome. Yeah.
Either of those two male characters in the hats would look really good in Fallout.
Yeah.
The sort of, that's that guy that appears every now and again and shoots someone for you.
Yeah.
It's like the mysterious stranger.
Just so you're aware, we may be having some problems with the website because I'm getting some errors. But just so
Are
you're
you
aware
using
going forward with it.
Chrome, Ben?
I am using Chrome.
If you use Firefox, that seems to fix it for you.
What? I'm not using that piece of crap. All my apps are on Chrome.
Oh no!
It says like Windows Explorer asks what its purpose is like to download Chrome.
Oh, fine. I'll go to Fire. Oh,
So here's the first piece of scenery that we've got. I don't know where this is from though.
Do you know what?
Oh, it's unpainted for a possibly defunct SLACS1.
Because I was going to kind of say it has a 40k Mantic feel to it, that terrain.
A little bit, yeah.
But I honestly, I haven't seen it before.
I'm interested to see what happens with this RPG. Like, where is it kind of it's post-apocalyptic, but how much of an RPG setting can you do in one environment? Which I always have trouble with, because I ran a lawnmowers race last week, and it was so much fun because I made the whole lake, and I just gave them all the terrain to, like, here you go, you make the racetrack, here are the rules, go with it. Whoever wins. It says Symphidious Tantern. That's Gianna, isn't it? Thank you very much for following. Can someone recap the competition?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was going to say yes. Recap of what this is all about. So
no problem. I will recap once we're done with this project, and I think it's coming off to the end now. But these are some really nice paint jobs. I really like them.
Very, very good work.
So it wasn't actually the bigger model at the back, because you can't see it in the stream, but it's here in the background.
There it is, there, lurking. Strangely.
It's the mascot of the team, I think.
Charming.
Okay, so the Hobby Lab Open Challenge is free for anyone within the community. It ends on the August 31st, as seen here, but the whole theme of it is based around the words "the end is nigh." It started just last month, actually. Yeah, it would have been a month ago now. Finishes on the 31st of August, so you have about a month and a half left to go. The prizes are 4 £50 vouchers from Foreground. They have some excellent terrain, and they're always supporting the hobby in whatever the way they can. And the categories you win by popular votes in the forums. So what we'll do is we'll collate all the projects, and we'll have a look through, and we'll see like who has the total votes at the time of the 31st of August, and then we'll declare winners from there. And the overall theme was apocalyptic, post-apocalyptic, but the guys foreground were talking about, like, you can have so much variety within post-apocalyptic, because whenever we kind of think immediately, we think of Fallout. But you could have something, World War II, World War One. You could go back to the Mythic Ages. You could have something that is just like maybe someone's house is burning down.
I had an idea that I was chatting about when Ryan was supporting the show with me, and it was to do like something Flames of War scale, or possibly even smaller, of a... Oh, do you know the scene in Terminator 3? A lot of people are going to say it's a crap movie. I don't care. But at the end of
where
it,
he's holding the big coffin?
No.
What?
But at the end of it, you see Judgment Day happening. So like, you see all the nukes flying out, and I wanted to do a little scene with the little American barn and little farmyard and stuff like that, and the wheat fields, and then like off to one side there's like the hatches open and the missile is actually launching. So I wanted it to be like mid-launch and all the smoke and everything come out. It'd be kind of cool.
And we've done like smoke effects before. You've done it as well with the sponge, so it'd be pretty simple to do, I think.
I was either going to try it myself, or I was going to throw it to the community as a, if you want to try it, go ahead, just to see.
I like here with J.R. Toshkin is he's flaming Flixter here. The Flixter doesn't finish minis. It's not based on minis though; it's based on terrain.
Yeah. Like, my idea for it was to do like a battlefield that's all sort of muddy and broken and on fire and that kind of thing, and there's bodies everywhere and stuff, and there's like one guy left alive surrounded by the dead. So you almost got the end is night done in a little bit of a different style, almost.
Wow, that's dark for you, Ben.
Yeah.
That's so dark.
Bodies everywhere, swords and spears and stuff stuck into them, all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Basically, it looks like the end of a Game of Thrones episode.
Just any episode. You pick episode 1, that's what it looks like. Episode 2, that's what it looks like.
Next up, we have Bob Murray. He's working on Waterloo. I was kind of hoping that Warren would probably jump in for this, but since he's not here, we're going to have to do the best we can about Waterloo. What do you know about Waterloo, John?
It was a big battle and has a movie made about it.
Sweet. It's about as much as I know.
Sweet.
I know there were guys in red. That's about it.
There was guys in red and guys in blue.
We did have a big Waterloo battle here on a Sunday, which Lloyd participated in. Or no, was that Waterloo? No, that was
So that was
a different one.
the other one, the one in the desert.
Yeah, it felt like Waterloo. But
Rorke's Drift.
yes. So Burma started off with the sketches, which is fantastic. We love to see like people sketching and gaining. This is probably where you're going to get most of your idea recommendations from, and you can see here just from Burma's recommendations, he's got quite a few. But we have a first laid layout sorted, small grassy raised bit, foam board wall, some lichen and a marked out road. So this is coming on quite nicely so far. This is going to be just a small part of the Battle of Waterloo, because it all takes place on a farm, doesn't it?
Well, it takes place in a huge area with a farm in the middle.
Yeah.
Lahai Saint was in the middle of it, I believe, and it was a gigantic mess if you ever watched the movie.
Yeah. I quite like the way that he's themed this, that it's like the unknown fate of the soldiers as they're merrily marching onwards. So it's kind of like a very different take on the idea of what the end of night means, which I thought was really neat. And it means that you'll get to see, like, obviously we're going to be seeing a lot of like mud and blood and sort of irradiated landscapes and all that kind of thing, but it's nice to almost see like this like verdant green look to this as well, which would be very interesting. So I'm very tempted, well, I'm very not tempted, I'm very interested to see what it all looks like when it's finished. It's going to be very cool. I like the little plan that he's done and everything as well. It's very cool. It seems to be coming together very nicely, so good to see it'll feature some models on there as well, which is neat. So
yeah, while the project and the whole terrain challenge is based on terrain, there's no saying that you can't go and paint some models as well. I like what Wargamer Haven has said. If any of you guys have seen the Mel Gibson film Apocalypto,
No.
So it's based off tribe warriors, and I think one of the females get like kidnapped and taken to an Aztec thing, and they become enslaved. But the whole, I'm going to spoil the ending of it. Wargamer Haven has spoiled it anyway, but at the end of it, they think they've got away and they've defeated the Aztecs, but they go to a beach and then they see the Spanish boats coming in, starting to invade, and they've all got guns and like advanced weaponry and stuff. It's pretty interesting. I think that would be a really good end is nigh moment, because the whole movie is kind of like the end is nigh is coming anyway, because the Aztecs are taking over. Is a whole new era for these tribes people, and then at the end of it, it's almost like the table is turned on the Aztecs as well, because the Spanish are coming in next. I really like the roads that he's made for these.
Oh, if you guys will give me 1 second, I'll be back.
Oh dear, he's opened his eyes now. Just realised what's going on. I feel for anyone who has to paint Napoleonic armies.
It's so vibrant.
Because it's so vibrant and there's so many of them.
Yeah, Mandy, you should have made a copy of the Mayan calendar. Just have that as a terrain piece.
It would have finished though 6 years ago.
Yep.
So it wouldn't count now. The end was nigh. These look really nice actually on the terrain.
Yep.
And I have returned.
Welcome back, Ben. So, see these little bits here?
Are they going to be puddles, perhaps?
I assume so, because they're kind of contrasting with the road at the minute. So I'm wondering, like, is that green stuff that he's just molded in?
Yeah.
To help that, or what's happening with that?
I would hazard a guess it's going to be like little puddles.
Shame nobody can do a diorama of Justin blowing Warren's mind with interesting facts, because that day would be important at the end of days for sure.
If someone out there is a talented sculptor and wants to create some little Dungeons and Dragons style miniatures with Warren's head exploding, that's a a keen idea for you there. Then
That's a thing that the staff would be very intrigued in seeing.
We could finally all have our minis fight on the tabletop. That'd be great. So this is a new one. The Tanker Ship Terrain Challenge by Core 8 Ball. I haven't seen any stuff from this person, so it's nice to see that. I could be wrong, but it's nice to see that new people that I don't recognize is also joining in. I like that he's even got the blueprints of an old tanker ship, and working from that, I think it should be quite interesting to see how it comes out. It looks to be huge as well.
Yeah, this looks like it could be really cool.
Because that's, judging by the size of that, that would be 1, 2, 3. That's maybe 4 feet long. 32 inches by 12 inches. So 3 by 1, isn't it? 12 inches in a foot. Yeah. Testing the layout of the cargo bay. I love this idea because it's clearly he's going to be making this in layers as well.
Yeah, from the sounds of it, he said he wants to make a post-apocalyptic table, which will be a flooded harbour water world table.
Oh wow!
The centerpiece will be 4 foot by 18 inches. No, will be 4 foot 18 by 10 inches, and then there'll be which is the tanker. Oh no, 4 foot by 18. 4 foot 18. Oh god. There's a tanker ship in the middle of the board, and then there's ocean all around it. All right, and it will be carved from foam and have a full top deck and all sorts of other things.
Yeah.
And then the other boats, like the little boat and lifeboat that you see there and things, they're going to be the Coast Guard ship. Sorry, they're going to be used as sort of ways to allow passage between the different parts of the ship's roads. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty awesome. I like the sound of that.
Cool.
I hope to see smokers.
Yeah.
I hope to see on the very bottom of the deck just one solitary guy sitting in a rowboat with a really long beard and a big long dipping stick.
Yes, Mandate is going to have a lot of foot. There are many foots.
So this next one is by I have no idea, but something happens somewhere. So a pretty vague title.
Sorry, I think that's
It's an intriguing title. It's like, but I want to know what's happening in where.
Yeah, I like what he's doing here because he's creating a story with this project as well. Because even in the very start, it says somewhere something happened. What? Not sure. When? Some time ago now. So it's almost once the project loads.
It's almost as if we're now traveling through a portal.
The end is now for the website.
Yeah,
That's
it.
That's it for today. More feet than a city. Okay, here we go. So, while this is the terrain challenge and he's making terrain, I like what he's been doing here because he's creating a story with it. He's so far he's got quite a lot of plans coming across. He's getting a water tower, telephone poles, medical tents, downtown buildings. Seems like he's going to be building quite a lot here, and has a very long shopping list of stuff to get. He needs a new saw for definite. Interesting.
It's like new saw with star.
And he's even discussed like setbacks and moving forward. So this is really nice about a project. Shows you that you're bringing a conclusion and working around things. So we're using sandpaper using this tutorial. So from a YouTube video, I'd assume that's maybe from Train Tutor or maybe one of ours. There's not too much left of this project, but I'm hoping in the next month we'll get to see more so what happens with it. So even judging by this rooftop that he's building,
there's a lot of thought gone into that
it's
already.
going to be pretty big.
Yep.
Well, the interesting thing about this is it kind of fits into a lot of stuff we'd seen in terms of the aesthetic of games like The Last of Us, and if we look towards the tabletop, like Drowned Earth and things like that.
Yep.
So it'll be really nice to see if they do something in that vein. And I think if you're going to try and focus terrain that you were making in that kind of direction, then a game to focus it towards would be something like Drowned Earth, because it's got that real emphasis on there being lots of terrain on the tabletop and all that kind of thing. So it'd be nice to see what. I love the idea of that sort of nature reclaiming kind of option on the table. So instead of everything just being sort of blasted and dead, actually having life coming back to places, I think it'd be a fascinating thing.
There's a Will Smith movie, I Am Legend, that did a very good job of like creating like nature taking over New York City.
Yep.
I really like that, even down to like the wolves just running through the streets was interesting.
Like this is all harking back to me listening to way too much Chernobyl stuff lately, and I've been looking at a lot of people's visits to Pripyat and stuff, and it's fascinating how quickly man-made structures just disappear or degrade. 30 years now since Chernobyl, and 30
It's fascinating when you even look at something like, because when Russia hosted the Winter Olympics, they built all the new buildings for that.
Yeah.
And then over the last, I don't know how many years since then, it's all just been left and it's been reclaimed by nature, even over the course of like 5 or 6 years, maybe even less than that, I think.
Yeah, so much money went into that as well.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just become like this urban playground for people now, and it's urban natural playground, I guess. But it's just very, very cool. Yeah, Justin will not hear this, but yes, Doug the Fug, when he says Try the Last Days by Ash Barker, that is a really, really good game that came out from Osprey very recently. So if someone wants to nudge Justin about that, it basically does everything that he wanted in a zombie tabletop game.
Okay. I see.
We shall inform him.
Yeah. And also, the film is very, very different to what was it called? The one we were talking about, the Will Smith one?
Oh, I Am Legend. Yeah,
I Am Legend. It's very, very different from the book, which has got.
Have you read the book, Ben?
I have read the book. It's
that
very
chapter of the dog was horrible.
Yeah.
Should we spoil it on John? Have you read it?
I haven't read the book. I've watched the movie, and I still hate the dog scene in the movie. So just leave me alone.
Yeah, the book's fantastic. Horrible and just grotesque. What happens in it. The film is. I like the film, but
it's very much a Hollywoodized version of it. That's I have not seen the one with Charlton Heston in it either. No.
So this one is Sci-Fi's The End Is Nigh Train Challenge. So I really love this project here, and we've seen some stuff from Sci-Fi before.
Yeah.
But he's had quick sketches of what he wants to do. So he wants to make a portal, essentially. And what he's gone about this is it's not like a normal portal. It's one that's like ancient. And things have been like decaying around it. It's almost like the portal has just been like absorbing the landscape more so, which I absolutely loved, because you see all these modern portals and stuff. They're all like embedded into just normal looking landscapes, whereas he's been working on this stuff that gradually decays the closer you get to the portal. Even going down to the detail of like ripping out. I thought that was really cool.
That's a really nice touch.
Yeah, because I like that idea, because it's going to be like a realm gate that's been sort of fitted for sort of Age of Sigmar kind of thing, I think. And so I love the idea that like whenever the realm gate opens, it sort of takes parts of the landscape away with it, almost back into whatever realm it's leading to. And I think you can have a very nice sort of like cinematic feel to that at the very end, and it'd be very nice to see how it all comes together.
Did you see how he's textured the road though?
Yeah, it's fascinating with the little pox marks in it and stuff that he's like chipped out of it and things.
Yeah, he's just got a rolling pin and some stones and rolled them over.
That's great. It's something so simple.
Yeah, I know a lot of people use like aluminium foil and roll them up into balls and stuff.
Yeah,
but this is probably a lot easier.
It's probably giving you a more natural finish as well.
The path that leads beyond. So
this
here, the portal is clearly going to be.
That's gorgeous. Really gorgeous.
It's so simple as well. It's just it's been very nicely textured and very well planned out so far. And even where you see the brickwork actually. If I show you the brickwork on this, is just cutting out normal little bricks out plastic card, making a little brick wall. That
is so good. Is this plastic card or is this foam board? Or foam core?
Yeah, I think it might actually be. Yeah, it's foam.
Foam X, which is essentially foam core, I would imagine. It's beautiful.
And then this is something that I've been kind of experimenting with, is texturing the ground with just normal like
filler, like wall
yeah,
filler.
because I used tile grout and it worked a charm. And because if you water it down a little bit, it doesn't come across as heavy as this, but this is really interesting.
I love how it's blending the brick and the soil work in very nicely together.
Now the footpath here isn't shown to be as textured, but then again, like, it won't be as damaged.
Yeah.
So let me check the other post here. The Artex dry, I've put on some colours around some sandstones around the collapsed walls, all very quickly done. Plan is to flock the top, so we don't need to neat at this stage.
I don't know whether you mentioned it as well, but the steps that are sort of lifting off the ground and fading away into the background is just that nice little inspired touch at the end. I thought that was super.
It is superly well done.
Yeah.
I assume
I didn't realise it
portals-
until Tim I didn't realise until Tim had said.
Yeah, because I assume the portal's going to be here and it's just
And it's going to be
like,
open.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the stones are just being absorbed into it.
That's so excellent. Really.
Very nice.
Yep.
Out of all of them, I think this is my favourite so far, just with how much creativity and just the time and patience that's gone into it.
Yep.
So very, very nice work. Next up we have Necro Thrall. We All Come to an End, which is a pretty grim title, I thought. But as we can see here with the thumbnail, we've got some gravestones, so it's going to be interesting. I think he's making stuff that would be possibly used in All Out War and some zombie games. Here we go. Oh yeah, this here had me. This is the end of night. This is the end is nigh for me right here. Tongue depressors. It just gives me a shiver down my spine even looking at them.
You had some bad experiences with tongue depressors?
It's just always going to the doctor and they just poke it down your throat. It's horrible. Ugh. So we went to Renedra for the gravestones. Apparently there's 4 sprues in this. And he's using the tongue depressors for bases, which very nice detail. We see the Scooby-Doo models there actually behind.
perfect characters to be wandering around in a graveyard.
Yeah,
Yep.
definitely. I like what he's done here with the gravestones, because it's just a very simple process of just dry brushing. I think I always thought if I was going to make a gravestone, I'd put in a lot of bird poo on the top. I would go really heavily on the dry brush at the top,
Yeah.
because I'd imagine just like being there for centuries, depending on how old the gravestones are, never kept perfectly. And I love it's even got what do you call it? Overseer.
Yeah.
Make sure that everything's going swell. Cat looks terrifying as well.
That cat is the end. The end is now personified anyway.
So angry. Like the only thing that could make this cat more angrier. But just you wait, John. Just you wait.
Oh, here we go.
Just you wait. Here we go. Let's give it these eyebrows. You guys are going to love this. Don't worry. Oh. There we go.
It's been too long since you've yeah. Jared Butler plus cat, Mando, yes. I love it.
Well, no, don't worry. I'll even make the eyes.
Oh no.
Here we go. Work. Okay, we'll go back. Too much fun being see, that's another 5 bases grade this morning, so This is actually looking really nice now.
The thing I'm looking forward to seeing is whether these are going to be built into a larger terrain piece. Like, I know obviously they're going to work as scatter to a degree, because they can be used around. I believe it was a church that they were putting together for this, and like a larger sort of terrain space for that. But I have the idea of maybe taking a few of these and turning them into almost like a little bit of a diorama to be used for like almost like a single piece, so you could have models shown off in it and stuff like that. That'd be quite nice. Just because I like the idea of seeing the undergrowth and the sort of ground around it, as well as just the gravestones. So it'd be nice to see how that comes together towards the end. So
I love even the color here of the ivy, because it looks discolored.
Yeah.
'Cause it's dying ivy as well, almost. So now on to the crows. We get to see some crows coming up next time.
Yeah.
Great
it's
stuff.
divey. Oh dear.
Okay, this next one.
I seen the thumbnail for this,
Have you?
and I just sort of went, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's fascinating. This. Yeah.
This is why I choose that thumbnail.
I
was like, this is excellent.
I stammered a bit when I seen the project. I was like, you're doing what?
This is a very odd project because it's very resourceful, and it's bringing in
Stuff you wouldn't normally use.
yes.
The end is a dentist mandate, yes.
The site's running a bit slow today, unfortunately. Yeah, this is interesting because a lot of people who have been making projects so far have been using a lot of just random hobby equipment, even down to like foam board, and I think the only different thing we saw was maybe the tongue depressors. But in this project, Hammerhead goes to all matters of depths for his stuff, and he goes out and buys Halloween skeleton.
He basically went to a Halloween shop that really shouldn't be open at this time of year.
This time of the year, yeah.
And sort of bought out a fair amount of stuff.
Uh-huh.
It's not loading yet.
Oh,
It's still broken.
I refreshed it. But we can maybe talk about what we've been up to, John.
Yeah, we could.
So we'll start with mine. Oh, we didn't actually bring them in.
No, we didn't. But we got photos.
That's okay. So I've been working on expanding foam, because on the last Hobby Night Live I wanted to paint up the Grundholler gunship. Let me just zoom out here.
Get rid of the evil cat.
Get rid of the evil cat and fix this up a wee bit. But we can see, I'll show you some photos now once I can find them.
You don't know where you put them.
Oh, don't you worry, John. I know where they are. Just text me a wee while. And John, what have you been working on as well?
Well, for those that haven't known, I have gotten pretty heavily into Imperial Knights for 40k. I bought one I say at Warhammer World as a sort of, this is the first visit I've been here, I want to buy something special, so I bought a knight at Castellan, and got back here and everyone was like, hey, let's do a Hobby Night Live, and I was like, oh, what should I work on? And I was like, I have a knight. We have Forge Bane here, and I took the 2 mini knights from that, and then after QCon's competition winnings came through, which was really cool, by the way, it was 75 quid of Amazon vouchers.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
That was really nice, and Laura didn't want hers, so I was like, that's fine. We'll throw the 75 quid into something that me and Justin can use, and we found a set of Imperial Knights Renegade on Amazon for like 108. So I stuck the 75 quid onto that and paid 35 quid for the whole box.
Bargain.
Absolutely. So we split the knights, and I've taken one off and painted it, and Justin has taken one off and half built it.
Of course.
I nearly have mine all finished, and that's what I've been working on. So, but yes, let's see what you've been on. You said this is expanding foam, right?
This is expanding foam, so I've been working on this. So what I did was I went into the kitchen, put on some greaseproof paper, and then just made giant bubbles of expanding foam.
And then Nula walked past and went, what are you doing?
No, Nola's pretty,
Or did she actually
She's
walk
pretty
past?
creative herself, so she probably just like looked over and was like, "Yeah, that's about right." Like if I was looking at football match statistics, she'd be like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah.
Um,
Put those away. Not in my house.
yeah. But yeah, this was expanding foam, and then what I did was I just cut up random shapes out of it, and I had some like little tests that weren't working too well. The only bad thing I can say about expanding foam is I learned on the second time using it is you got to make sure that the straw is pretty much at the bottom of it at all times, because if you like layer it on top and just like make an ice cream shape, there's going to be lots of bubbles into it.
Yeah.
So you want to try and just have it come out as liquid and then expand out. But after I was done like sticking it on, I do have some photographs actually, but not on the PC. I went over it with just Grouter's filler, and this is kind of the cheap result that I got. Make a foam Amanda, I'm this close. My goodness.
Amanda's head is down the drain today.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Another angle as well, because last night I basted it a little bit, and then I didn't have these little tufts, so I just came in here and then I fixed it up this morning. I think it looks pretty good so far. I'm pretty proud of it, and
it's very cool. Yeah,
I'm really impressed with the fact that it is expanding foam. How have you found the rigidity of it? Like, does it feel like it could be fragile, or?
I don't know just yet, John.
Just find out.
At some point, I was testing it before I stuck it all together, but then I didn't. I was kind of scared whenever I put the filler onto it that it would chip off. But then I put PVA over it because I did a base coat, PVA'd over, and then I did a dry brush from then on, and it seems to be quite rigid. One thing Lloyd actually came in, he's looking at it, is like, this is surprisingly light, because he looked at it and he thought it was going to be a lot heavier than he thought, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. But John, moving on.
Nights.
Lots
of nights.
Nights that say knee.
I should have called them that. Oh man, I've totally missed.
Can you not just get like a shrubbery and have them beside them at all times?
Oh, I should.
A little tiny shrub on every.
That's the objective of every game. You have to go find
defend the shrubbery. So with the Knights project, my Castellan was done, and I was pretty happy with it. I loved the color choices and stuff, and I came across the Warglaives, and I was like, I want to do something special with them. So in my head, the lore is they are twin sisters. So what I've done on both the Warglaives is about turn the transfers on them. So in this one, the Aquila's on its left hand side, but on the sister one, it's on the other side.
Okay,
that's cool.
So I've kind of done when they're walking together, the Aquilas kind of line up. But I also wanted to try some checker pattern, and that's a friend of mine actually asked what stencil did I use for that, and I said I free-handed the checkers and then put transfers into the squares, and he
very nice, dude.
He made an expletive and said I thought that was a stencil.
It is very neat.
It did take a fair bit of practice. The problem is I then with my bigger knight, they're right here. I tried it again, and I started off well at the front. Like the first 3-4 rows look pretty decent. Then it starts to squiff, and then it gets
a tiny bit there, but it still looks good.
I'm pretty happy with it. At this stage, this one still needs a matte coat because that's the Army Painter quick shade down on it. But yeah, it still needs a bit of weathering and the basing done, and so does the other Warglaive.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Doug the Fug as well. You said it's a nice color scheme choice. It's very cool.
I love, I was trying out different shades of red and stuff because I knew I wanted to go a bone red and a gold, but most of the reds I was trying were too bright or something like that, and I was sort of going, well, do you know what? I think let's try a chaotic red, and 2 or 3 coats of that gave me that really deep red. Yeah. And I fell in love with it at that point because with that gold counterpointing how dark the red was, I was really happy with it then.
Very nice, John. I think we may be in luck.
It is loaded.
it's loaded now.
We can
It
stop
has
talking
loaded,
about
yeah.
stop talking about our rubbish projects and look at actual talent.
So Hammerhead has been working on the Deadlands stuff, and like we said previously, he's gone to extreme lengths of buying very odd.
Some very quirky material.
And yeah. So this is, I've got a frog in my throat, very itchy right now. So this is what he has already, and he mentioned in his post that he wanted to keep what terrain he already has. I think some of these look as if they've been like hand built as well. Actually,
Looks like insulation foam
yeah.
and stuff like that. Yeah.
So he's clearly been playing quite a lot of this game, and then
This picture does it.
and then we come to this, which just look. I mean, the pose of the skeleton alone is something to be admired with. Yeah. So there's a lot of skulls. It got a bag of skulls. We've got two normal looking skulls, and I don't know what this skull is made from on the right hand side, but looks like goggles were molded into it.
Yeah.
Very interesting. And then what he's done is he's been creating this like cave looking structure with the there we go. This is a perfect little sketch, and I love what he said here as well, because even the ribs and everything's going into it.
I love the fact that in every picture there's just bits of skeleton lying everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, some of these pictures look genuinely horrifying to me. It's like, are you sure this is?
I look like mad scientist level stuff, yeah.
Yeah, imagine if you didn't know about the hobby or what he was working on.
The first thing you seen was
And
this.
Walk in, you see a kitchen table with like with a picture of him editing this here. Like,
Should I remove this
tooth as well?
Does he work for Games Workshop?
And this is where terraforming begins. I think that's perfect. Like what he's working on, it reminds me of the Goonies.
I had like a Castle Grayskull thing going on.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
I mean, if you're playing a game and this doesn't haunt you, you've got very little imagination. It reminds me of also like Indiana Jones as well. I think Ben, you were talking about like playing Indiana Jones RPG.
Yeah, I love the idea of doing some kind of RPG that was done in like the style of Uncharted or like Tomb Raider, that kind of thing, and using like a whatever system for it. But then if you had terrain like this, and you picked up some of the miniatures, some of the pulp ranges out there, like hassle free, you could have some really awesome times with that. I think it'd be superb because you'd have really nice exotic locations to explore that had that slightly fantastical supernatural element to it as well, which I think is really cool. And you kind of see that in the terrain that's being created here, where it's got like that natural feel, but because I believe in like the Deadlands, it's almost like close to hell and stuff like that. As he said in the descriptions, it's nice to see like the warped landscape as well, looking very different too. So it's very nice.
Mm-hmm. So this has been a very interesting project. I can't wait to see what happens in the next month, to see where that goes. But next up we have the zombie suburbs. We do actually have, it's in the forum topics. Gaz started a project, but he couldn't finish it unfortunately because of work commitments. But I hope that he gets back to it at some point, because it's based on District 9. And I haven't seen very much from it since its release.
Yeah, just imagine like, oh, he has to drop his hobby to go work in Apache helicopters.
Horrible.
Such a horrible job, man. Gonna play with millions of pounds worth of weapons and helicopters and stuff, and be like, oh, I can't hobby this week. I have to go fix this gun. I'm not bitter.
We can see where John wants to go. But this project here, this is from Dark Vavoid. He was talking about he wanted to buy minis, but he thought, oh no, I'll spend my money on an airbrush and a hot wire cutter instead, and he's entered into this train, and I think he's doing a really good job so far on it, because here we have like the start off, and this is the ground floor. Here we can see now is where people are working on where these aluminium.
Oh yeah, use the ball of aluminium foil.
Mm-hmm. I think seeing that rolling pin idea and just the pebbles, I think that's such a better idea now.
Yeah.
Looking at it. I even like the details of what he's gone into of, if you can see here, just little cornerstones for the corner of the house.
Mm-hmm.
It's been an interesting fort.
Raising the roof.
Mm-hmm. He made these pillars, nicely textured. Who are you talking to, Ben? Who's more important?
People in the chat. As you're talking about this, I'm talking to Flickster. So, talking about, if anyone hasn't seen it yet, there was everyone's played the the Uncharted series of games. Nathan Fillion was the almost like the inspiration for the character, as back when it first came out and stuff.
Yeah.
Back when he was a thinner man.
Uh-huh.
Not to shame him or anything.
Have you seen the video of him though?
But yeah. So now he's done the fan film where he played Nathan Drake in it, and as I said in the comments, it's about as good as you'd imagine a fan film to be, but obviously with a higher budget because it's got Nathan Fillion and all his friends in it as well. But it's very, very good, and that's what inspired me to start thinking about doing sort of like adventure style RPGs in that sense. So, yeah. But yes, that was what I was talking about. Sorry, sir. I'll get back to it. I've told the class now.
Gianna, you be careful with them words. You be careful. You watch them words now, Gianna.
Oh dear. We're going to have flame wars and just a chat now. I'm going to be sitting in the middle like, look at this project. This is a great one.
Well, someone already pointed out that effectively your work with the Imperial Knights, John, is effectively just you playing with tanks with legs. So,
yeah. Yeah. It's just a taller tank.
Yeah.
This little house, though, is coming on leaps and bounds.
The church, isn't it?
Yeah. Sorry, John.
Just say it.
I got it wrong. I'm too busy thinking about you guys playing with tanks and talking to everyone in the chat and not including me.
We are including you. You're
This
pressing
is,
all the buttons to keep the show going.
I like what he's done with the roof work, although I can't say myself that I would have the patience to do that.
Oh no, probably not. I would totally skimp out and buy the foreground roofing tiles.
Yeah, because that looks like a lot of work.
Yeah. I mean, it's excellent, but it's a lot of work.
The church spire as well. I can't, even down to, these little wooden boards.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fantastic
it looks like
attention to detail.
Yeah, it looks like that money you were going to spend on minis was really well spent on the tools you needed for this, because you're creating something fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something you're going to have pride in as well, which is the most important. I love the top of the tower is brilliant. It's all brilliant. It's starting to look a bit like St. Mary Glees, the church in St. Mary Glees with the paratrooper hanging off the roof.
Yeah.
I wonder, are you going to make a bell for the inside of the church? You wouldn't even have to make a bell. If you went to a pet shop, you'd probably get a little...
Get a little bell in there.
Yeah.
Oh man, you could put a little servo and a motor onto it so that it just kept dinging every now and again. Or
that'd be awesome.
You could go the digital way and just put a speaker in it.
No, wouldn't be worth it. You need the ding.
Yeah.
There's so much detail in this. This is perfect. I would have loved to have seen the inspiration for this as well. I love seeing as well just the amount of chaos that building stuff makes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should have seen my shed when I was doing the 2 power armor suits. Dad was actually going, so when are you going to tidy this up? Sometime next year, maybe?
It's one of those things where at the time it's easier to just let the chaos build up and then sort it all out at the end.
Because you know that 80% of the chaos is probably going to a bin.
Yeah. It was kind of like that when I was doing like the sponge rocks and things I was making. You just got, like fluff everywhere, and you're like, and it starts sticking to things because it's got like that static thing to it.
That
And you're like, God damn it! I'm finding it everywhere.
The foam stuff, the expanding foam. Because as soon as I was like cutting little bits away, I was like flicking away, and it just wouldn't come off my fingers.
I can only imagine how Amanda was handling all the styrofoam. She was breaking it all.
Oh, that'd be a nightmare. We have tons of those like styrofoam balls as well in the hobby lab.
But we bought a bag of them on purpose. No, we didn't break something up. We did it on purpose.
It's so tempting just to jump on that every single day.
Yeah. Just
then,
empty the bag out and
then someone comes in and like, who made this mess? I don't know. Covered in balls.
it certainly wasn't any of us, that's for sure.
Right, come on, website. We can do it. We need to see what you don't see is that me and John are pedaling furiously underneath the table here to keep the website running. It's the only it's how it works.
It is hard work. There was a couple of questions as well about the knights. Is like, do they have any particular household? I kind of made up my own on the fly and called it House Lupus and sort of threw a wolf theme at it, and I was like, that'll do. I just want really big walking tanks. They are also a beginner's step for me to move on to a Titan, because I'm damn sure I'm going to be doing a Titan within the next 18 months or so.
Yeah, you've wanted a Titan for quite some time now.
Titan since I first seen them, and I was like, they cost how much?
Well, you've got Adept. What's it called?
I've got Titanicus coming. Yeah.
Titanicus coming. Yeah. So.
But that's not enough, man. That's just not enough. I know the warlords look cool at that size, but I mean they're that tall, man. They're 4 inches or 5 inches tall. Like, no. I went to Warhammer World. I seen the warlord stood there in all its friggin' 2.5 foot, 3 foot glory, and I was like, "You will be mine someday."
I've just messaged you over a couple of little Kickstarters I wanted to look at, just in this interim while we're waiting for something to load, if that's all right. So.
I guess.
Yeah. Okay. So these are for work. I have been told to share these, so don't worry. So hopefully you see the first one.
Yeah. So we've got Dragon Realms here.
Yeah, so this Dragon Realms one is just one that I wanted to quickly highlight. So this company called Xemon Designs, and obviously a lot of the time people are getting into their role-playing games at the moment, and we've talked about it a lot and stuff. But this company is a group that are doing some really nice leather and wood style dice boxes and rolling trays for you to use when you're doing your role-playing. And there's a little compartment for your dice and a little compartment for your character miniature, and then obviously you've got the rolling tray as well. And the reason I'm bringing it up just now is that miniature at the top there that you see is the blacksmith. Mm-hmm. That is a miniature that is exclusive as like an early bird until the end of today. So if you wanted to get in and get your hands on that model as well, which is going to be for a range that's going to be growing in the near future, they're going to be doing lots of NPCs and townsfolk and things like that, then this is your chance to get a hold of that and bring that up as well.
If that's the packaging the blacksmith comes in, that is the finest layout for a blister pack I've ever seen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the cool thing is as well, they're going to offer it in 28mm and 32mm, and I believe you get to choose the material that you want it in as well. So
nice.
There's options for people that want to do that.
So
that was just
sorry? If you want this miniature back in today, because it ends 9 PM on 18th of July. That's
I don't have enough money left to do that.
and the second Kickstarter that I just wanted to quickly look at as well is one from GameStart Edition, and this is one that I've backed. So there you go. There's my hashtag ad, or like flash of interests, whatever.
Oh, the Fantasy World creator. Okay.
Yeah. So this is the Fantasy World creator that features some amazing hand-drawn artwork for both tiles, characters, monsters, that kind of thing as well. And the idea of it is that it's a set of all these things that you can use if you're creating things for your tabletop RPGs. So it not only includes like interior locations but exterior ones. They've got loads of different character models for it as well. One of the other big things is that through their stretch goals, they've unlocked lots of new characters, lots of new monsters. They've developed a campaign map as well. So there's a campaign map for the overworld and one for the underworld as well, which I thought was really cool. So if you like the idea of building a larger space as well, you can do that. The other neat thing they've done is that all of the materials that you see there are rewritable on, so they're covered in like a plastic that means you can write on them and doodle and like write health points and stuff like that and mark enemies, and then you can just all wipe it off afterwards. So yeah, I've backed this, as I say, but it's a very cool one, and I think it's nice to see people looking towards these kind of things as like a kit for dungeon masters going forward. Because one of the big things is that a lot of people say, "Oh, just get miniatures and Dwarven Forge," but that's a hell of a lot to carry around with you. And so something like this is a little bit of an easier way to sort of like compartmentalize all that stuff and things. So yeah, if you're interested in role playing games and you like that kind of thing, and you like the artwork, the artwork from the artist is superb for these. Go and check it out. Get me more stretch goals so I can get more stuff. There we go.
I think these would be pretty good as well. Like I can imagine putting these into like just a folder, and then just pitting it through, finding your dungeon, and just opening up the world.
So now that we've done that Weekender segment,
that's what I was wondering. Like,
it suddenly became very Weekender in here.
What's going on?
No, I was asked by a couple of companies to show those off, so I thought I'd give them a little bit of a plug.
No.
So, oh God, no! No, wait. I mean, I love the Weekender.
So next up we have Soap Dodger. He's quite a veteran of making terrain here at Beast of War, and I'm sure the community know him by now. He's got 140 recommendations so far. Awesome. But he's working on a shanty town, and he's even got the blueprints from like Fallout. Yeah. I don't know if he has actually I think he designed these himself, and if you want to, you can download them yourself, I believe.
That's a really nice touch too.
So thank you very much for that, Soap Dodger. And if anyone wants to join in and creating his stuff, then why not? He's even got a video on how to build it. So this isn't even 3D printed. These are all done with MDF and laser cutting, which I love, because you can even see here, this just reminds me of Fallout itself.
Yeah. That moment where you're like, I can build a settlement, and this is like what you, after your first 2 hours of trying, looks like.
Mm-hmm. This is what it turned into.
Yeah.
But here he has the prototype. I always love his photograph work, because he always zeniths his pieces, and then you can see all the details that are coming out.
That's freaking gorgeous. Stop being so good at stuff like that.
Last thing as well, I was looking at the frames that he built for these, and I can't imagine how annoying they must have been to put together. I'm fairly sure I would have broken most of them by the time.
See, so this little shanty hut, I assume has been made with one of this here square down in the bottom left, and then the roof top, and then what he's doing is just going in and
chucking stuff on them.
Putting cloth on the top, and I'd assume these are just coffee skewers and maybe a door that he's maybe got printed out or something.
See, Amanda.
And then this corrugated cardboard. It's perfect for what it is, and this is only a test piece as well, which is incredible.
Yeah. It's the attention to detail, I think, that's the big thing. That could very easily on the interior just be the plain wooden walls, but he's actually gone to all the effort of adding additional materials in there as well, and showing that off to show that it's not just a shell of something. It's something that someone's lived in, and it's those kind of little tiny things that start to add together a little bit more of a story on the tabletop and develop that narrative again. And it's the kind of thing we've always talked about when it comes to scatter terrain as well. Scatter terrain may seem a little bit superfluous when you're playing with huge armies and stuff like that, but when you see those kind of things, it really places you within that location and what you're doing. And so if you're doing something like this for a Fallout world, it kind of gives you that sense of people trying to survive and using whatever materials they can to build onto things. So if you're playing a game for example, Wasteland Warfare, or something that's got that kind of solo narrative story element driven into it, these kind of buildings add to that and help things progress on the tabletop around you. So it's very cool.
He's even asking in the comments as well, just what other materials could he use, because this guy's clearly not ran out of ideas, but he's looking for other suggestions on what he could use. If the metalwork and everything on this is superb.
Yeah, this is really, really good. On evening interior.
We need to get Soap Dodger in for like a...
Soap Dodger can make so many cool tutorials and give me a break.
Yeah. You get him around.
There we go. Well, I'll
just give him. We just give him our trash, and then he'll make something amazing out of it. I love this here as well because he can stack like the buildings on top of each other.
That's
I
great.
don't know-
It gives you a modular feel to everything. So yeah.
He said even going down to the details of like what is required. So if you want to do an old-fashioned quest thing where you look up the Wikipedia and get all your items first, then you can do whatever you need.
Very cool.
Yeah.
On the sort of Fallout Wasteland Warfare thought, I got in touch with the community member that was 3D printing the vertibirds,
Yes.
and I have purchased one of him.
Oh my.
Yeah, so it'll be rocking its way to me sometime in August, hopefully.
Very cool. Very cool.
Because I really wanted to get my hands on it because I loved what he was doing with it, and we talked back and forth, and he said I'll make sure it's got a coat of resin and stuff on it so that it's not as fragile when it comes out of the printer, and hopefully it'll make its way to me safely. And I was like, yeah, no problem. We discussed price for a while and couldn't really decide on what the price was, but eventually we came to a figure, and I said, no problem, we'll sort that out when you have it printed and get it sent over. So I'm looking forward to that. That could be rather fun.
Very good. So that concludes the post. Hopefully by next month, if we go through this again, we'll look through everyone's topics and we'll see some final results as well. But we'll return next week with looking at more community projects and not just specific to the End Is Now.
Yep.
We'll look through the Webpan thread and the forums as well. But we'll just come back to the End Is Now. So if you want to jump into the challenge, it is not too late. You still have a month and a half to do. And judging by what you see, that's plenty of time to make some terrain. And you know, we've even mentioned some cool ideas here on the stream. You have until the 31st of August 2018. Prizes are going to be £50 vouchers from Foreground, and they all jump into categories of best idea, best skill, best tutoring, and junior. Junior spot is now still open. So even if you want to make some terrain and just say to your kids, like, go and post that for me.
Are you inciting people to cheat?
No, I'm just giving ideas.
2018, I'm out.
Come on, Flexi. I know you can do it. Yeah, that's all from us at Hobby Hangout this week. Thank you very much for joining. Remember to come across and join Backstage for 7-day free trial. You get some cool painting guides. You get to see all the stuff that's happening behind the scenes as well, and you get merch at beastofwar.equid.com. Remember, there's also an Affinity Week happening this week where you can win a buttload of prizes. If you want some cool werewolf dogs, why not jump into that as well? Are you streaming this week, John? Or no?
Probably not.
No, but you do have your vlog series.
Yeah, my Stormcast are going out at the minute. I know a couple of people have been complaining that I haven't been live streaming. Manda and Lena mostly, because they've been like, we need to watch people paint stuff because that's when they paint stuff.
Live streaming's hard work. I've stopped live streaming at home because live streaming here, Hobby Hangout, takes it all out of me. But yeah, thank you very much, guys, for joining us this week, and we'll be back again next week at 12 PM on Wednesday.
That we will.
Ben.
Oh yes. Also, some stuff that's coming up. Obviously, if you haven't watched the vlog this morning, we've got Kill Team coming up at some point today, I believe, which should be really cool. So we've got a little bit of an unboxing for that. And also, Sam and Justin are on their way over to Gen Con in the next couple of weeks, which is very cool. So they're going to be over there with Dawn and Gianna, and they're going to be delving through all the stuff going on at Gen Con and things like that. So you may have some breaks potentially in weekend. We'll try and work stuff out. So just so you're aware of that in the future. But if they're over there, then they may do stuff over in America and stuff, which would be kind of cool to get the ladies on and stuff. and have a chat and things. But just so you're aware, if you're going to Gen Con, they're going to be there, so you can have a chat with them, meet up, and I'm sure they won't be super tired and all that kind of thing. So
They won't be super tired and grumpy.
It's worth coming back, I believe.
it is, yes, it is, yeah. So,
Okay. Thank you very much, Ben. Thank you very much, John. Thank you very much, Tom, for being in the background.
Oh, Tim wants you quickly before we go a one-sentence opinion on Kill Team from you, John. Go.
Oh, from John. Okay.
Oh,
well,
okay.
whatever. I don't know anything about it.
Super viable, playable. Go get it.
Wow, there we go. Oh,
Interesting.
There you go. There's your review. We don't need to do an unboxing.
That's it. We can scrap that footage now.
when I said Kill Team was coming later, I meant now. Yeah.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
See you later.
Bye, Ben.
Bye.